I'm really kind of encouraged because the information that we've been feeding them all these years is finally gaining the traction it needs to be recognized and to do the work that needs to be done. Um, it no secret to us, the Civil War was a mercenary conflict. We can prove it. We have proven it. That just takes the teeth and uh, the whole matrix that they've built and dissolves it, because they've been pretending this entire time that what they had here was a military occupation of our country, um, for a protectorate. Okay, they've misrepresented this as a military protectorate and a military occupation of our country. And it is not a military occupation, it's an illegal mercenary occupation. And that puts an entirely different um, color on what's happened here and who's responsible and what they need to do in terms of correction. Now, they don't like it, but the facts, ma'am, are the facts. And we can prove that the Civil War was a mercenary conflict with many different pieces of evidence. We can prove it from the fact that no Congress actually declared a war. We can prove it from the fact that no actual peace process and peace treaty was issued to finalize and end the so-called war. We can prove it from the muster rolls of the soldiers that were actually inducted into the service during the Civil War, who signed up to fight for the state of New York, the state of North Carolina. We can prove it from the fact that the southern states very forthrightly called themselves the Confederate States of America. And we can prove from that, we can go back from that, that yes, indeed, they were acting as Confederate states throughout, meaning states of states, meaning commercial entities. Okay? Yep. So there are multiple ways that we can prove that the so-called American Civil War was in fact a commercial mercenary occupation. And we can also therefore prove that Abraham Lincoln acted under color of law and conditions of non-disclosure and deceit, and unlawfully converted our national military into a mercenary force. And we can also then go back and prove that this was not a military protectorate. It was an illegal occupation by a mercenary force. And all of this stuff begins to accumulate against them. And so the Hague Conventions were developed out of the Lieber Code that Abraham Lincoln designed. And this is for the false supposition that there is a military protectorate and a prolonged occupation of this country by a legitimate national military. And so all of those presumptions are not true. They're simply not true. And just as we went through today and very succinctly said, all three of the public trusts that were established under this system of presumptions have to go. The quote unquote intestate American infant decedent estate that was purportedly waived for you by your mother has to be dissolved in your favor. There are so many things about this. The bogus British seaman's estate for you that was established by the British Crown, identifying you as a lost British merchant mariner. It's specifically a warrant officer known as a taxpayer. That has to be dissolved. And of course, the municipal estate trust, the Sestake Trust, that was formed by the municipal government on behalf of the other dual federal citizen, the citizen of the United States, has to be dissolved. Now, here's, I'm looking at this recently, and what they did on those forms that your mother signed, they claimed that you were a United States citizen.
Yeah.
With a capital C. That means that they're claiming that you are an officer or official attached to the old federal republic that they laid claim to on February 2nd, 1871. And that they have operated deceitfully as a corporation ever since.